Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer. For the purpose of this assignment, I chose a young boy named Caden, who is 4 years old, 4 years and 3 months to be exact. I conducted a short biopsychosocial assessment about Caden with his father, and Caden asked him a few questions as well, and then also completed the ASQ. We met up at a park here. I live in Los Angeles, so we met up at a park in Los Angeles so that we can have him play on the jungle gym and play catch and do all of those fun activities that the ASQ asked. As far as implications go, Caden scored nearly perfect on all areas of the ASQ. He scored a 5 in a couple areas, one area in fine motor skills, and I believe 1 in problem solving. But otherwise, he scored perfectly, so he is definitely developmentally on target. I had really no suggestions for the family at the end of the ASQ. The only one that we could identify was the risk and the possibility of vision issues later on in his life. We identified that his parents both have vision issues, as well as on his father's side, every male in his family is actually colorblind, which is really interesting. I had him identify colors. He didn't have an issue with that, but I'm not very knowledgeable on color blindness. I'm not sure when that kind of shows up in children or if that's something that shows up later on, but it's something to look out for. But he's definitely developmentally on target. No issues at all noted with him. Is the ASQ a good tool to use with populations of the Southwest? I personally believe that the ASQ is an incredible tool to use with any region, really. But I would suggest the only thing that would prevent someone from using the ASQ is a possible language barrier. So to ensure that that doesn't happen, just having that assessment tool be available in different languages, and also having the social worker or worker that is completing this ASQ with the parent to be fluent in the language that the family is. Otherwise, there could be a lot of barriers to understanding what's going on, and also people who are aware of the culture of those families. What did you learn from your experience? I learned so much from this experience. I have never been around 4-year-olds for that long a period of time. I've been around infants and children about 7 and up quite a bit in working in the past, but around 4-year-olds, not so much. So it's really interesting to see how incredibly imaginative and smart they are. Caden was, the whole time we were doing this, he made the whole thing into a game. So we were actually not at a park, we were at Disneyland, and every time I asked him a question, I had to act like we were about to get on a ride or we were waiting in line for a ride, and that's the only way he wanted to answer them or do any activities, so which was really cool to see. I also learned how incredibly important it is to assess children at 0 to 5 to see if they are meeting these milestones. Through my research for the paper, I read that 90% of brain development happens 0 to 5, which means we have to do the early intervention strategies to ensure that we are providing these kids with any resources and referrals needed to kind of get them back on track or provide the families with education. I noticed one thing with Caden's father. While completing this, he wasn't even aware of half of these milestones that Caden was supposed to be reaching at this age. Now Caden, he's not developmentally off target. He's doing just fine, so that's okay, but we need to make sure we educate parents and so they know what to look out for, because some of them they don't know, and they don't really think about looking that kind of stuff up. So as a social worker, I think it should be our job, if we're working with this age under 5, to educate the parents on what to look for and what's a red flag or what they should be doing at a certain age, just to ensure that we can make sure these kiddos are reaching all of their milestones on time. So I thoroughly enjoyed this project. So thank you so much, guys.